What's good, YouTube here? This is Sinclair Gray here. Today I'm going to show you how I personally make my Heart Genie webcomic pages. And really it's not hard to do. It's cheap. You truly don't need to spend $40 to $50 on this professional paper. I know some people like to do, but if you're on a budget, this way really helps. Let's get started. Okay, pretty much what I like to do is I visualize how I see the comic, and then I draw out the panels. And for borders, because right here is the edge of the paper, I actually come down here and make these little marks, which is cropped out when I go to Photoshop. And these are about 1 centimeter apart from the edge of the paper. So I do the same thing for when I decide to do full page spreads. And oh no, actually some watermarks on this. Anyway, this is actually going to be a scene later on, so it's a sneak preview of the comic later on. I usually like to update once a week, but due to having 2 jobs and life, I'm not able to. It's okay. So personally, what I do is I don't just draw out the comic on the panels. I like to do each piece. That way I can draw, like, okay, right here is Luba. I like to draw them separately, so then if I don't like it, I can start over or change it and draw it a lot larger, so that way I can just shrink it down and still has all that professional looking detail. Because right here I'm doing some flying poses, just practicing changing her eye shape just a little bit. And pretty much when I get a design that I like for a character or a scene, I go ahead and I ink it out. So then that way when I scan it, it comes out nice, clean, and crisp. So you'll see that later on. And the ones I reject, like this one right here, I thought it looked nice, but then I just couldn't really find anything for it, so I leave it uninked. And if I decide to use it in a later panel, I do. But pretty much I've already redone this one. So you'll see this and this on the page soon to be updated. Now here is the original first page from when I first did the comic before I decided to restart. And as you notice, it's just some of these lines are a little bit like scratched up. That's why I decided to go back over it. And if you notice, I don't have any eraser marks. That's because I decided to buy a light table. It's not plugged in. But anyway, really, like, some professionals have like some that could be hundreds of dollars. I just went to a local store and got this one about $40, and it works really well. And pretty much I decided to do that. That way I don't have to keep buying tracing paper. And pretty much the tools I use is I use a 0.9 mechanical pencil. And the reason I use this is in art class people would take my lead. So I had 0.5 at one point. People would take the lead, and I really didn't like it. And I went to 0.7, and they start taking it. So then I decided, okay, well, I need to hide my lead. And then one day at the grocery store, I saw 0.9. I went, ooh, most people probably wouldn't know about this. And people would take my lead and they couldn't use it, and they would just give it back. Now the eraser I decided to use is, I think, called Styler. It's made in Germany, and it's about $3 for each one, but it's a lot better. I say this is the best eraser that you're going to use, period. It doesn't leave any marks. It comes up easy, and usually it's sometimes the same material as these. Now for inking, I like to use the Micron pens. They work really well. You don't have to use this, but I like it how I can use the which one's this? The 0.5, and then I usually use the 8. And usually I use the 8 for like the clothing and the skin, and I use this one for like different hair strands and small details. So pretty much the different sizes helps me get a more professional look. Okay, now here's the Photoshop portion. So what you want to do is scan your artwork into it. Oh, this is CS6 CS4, the latest version. So pretty much you start off with your background, and what I do is turn the background from a layer, turn it to a layer, and you duplicate it. So now you pretty much, you have down here, you have 2 copies of it. So what you want to do is you want to get the magic wand, right click this. I don't know if you can see that, but it kind of glows. Right click and then click similar. Now what this does is it's going to highlight everything of that color, so it's highlighting all the white, and then you click delete and it removes all the white. But let me get rid of the other layer. So once you do that, you then click the lock transparent pixels. So okay, now what you want to do is, come on, show it. Get the brush tool, and you just pretty much, you'll just do this and expand it with this little circle. I don't know if you can see that. It's right here now. And what you'll do is you're going over your lines and making them darker, because when you scan them, they usually come in gray and not black. So now to speed things along, the next thing I usually do is I color it, and then right here I just photoshopped in another photo that I did for a Facebook friend, and then I added some text. I added a little Easter egg. I like to do that. That's the Sinclair Show logo from my other YouTube channel. And pretty much then after I color it and get everything I want to do, I'll add in the speech bubbles. But this one doesn't have speech bubbles. I have speech blocks, and I do this all on a different level. So pretty much it's like a cake, layer after layer after layer after layer after layer after layer. So that way, if I need to go back and change something, like say if when I come to print and it's blued, it just does not come out right against this beige, I can go back and change that color and not mess up my entire page. And then each text is on its own layer, because I used to have it all in the same layer, but then it caused problems when I had to edit some of it. So I just decided to add in an extra step. And that's pretty much it. It's not that hard once you figure it out. And this is not the only way you make webcomics. This is just the way I decided to do it, because I used to actually color with crayons as a child. And once I got Photoshop and played around with it and figured out how to do it, it works pretty well. So thanks for tuning in, and also check out this link right here. Actually, I think I'll leave it in the description. It's part of a webcomic group I just joined called WebComics Underdogs, and unlike most of them, it's actually a pretty good site where it's not just spam, spam, spam. Look at my comment, look at my comment, look at my comment. They will ban you for that. They will stop you for that. They are very serious. Now, if you're new and you say, "Oh, here's my comic" or whatever, okay, they'll let you do that one time. But really, it's a community about engaging. There are people there, or even professionals, who do tutorials like the one I just did for you, who will tell you, this is what I did to get my website. This is what I did to get my book published. So pretty much, if you give what you can, people will give back. And pretty much, even if you want to go into print like me, or you just want to do a gag a day, or just pretty much do a comic where you do it for fun on your own free time, join it works. This YouTube channel, I'm pretty much gonna feature it after this video is made. Leave a comment below. Check out WebComic Underdogs Facebook page. It's really good, and I'll be on the forums rarely, depending on some of the subject matter. But I'm pretty much learning a lot. And check out my site next week. I'm gonna launch it. So pretty much the site that I have now is either gonna be down for a bit, so I can own the domain name and everything. And pretty much, I got a lot more stored for you guys. Thanks.